Hey, welcome everybody to the Wellness Wednesday with Fun Saver Network. Once again, we come back together to talk to this fantastic couple, Daniel and Kesia with NutriRelief, one our vendor here at Fun Saver Network. Tonight is going to be something that we haven't talked about a lot. I'll let Daniel explain their company along with why they're so special, why their creams are different, why it's good for your body, why they're just different than anything out there. And then we're going to bring up a couple of people that's been with the creams and used the creams, and they can tell you about their results. But please understand, when they do that, I am not telling you that you're going to get the same results. Not what I'm saying. That's not what Daniel's saying. But what I am telling you is we're having people with great results by using these products. So without further ado, let me introduce the star of the show, Mr. Daniel Lyons. Can you hear me, Daniel?
I can hear you perfectly. I hope that I'm being heard the same.
You are
And
you are you are loud and clear, sir. You are loud and clear.
well, thank you again always for the introduction. And it's always just great to basically be able to talk to the community of the Fun Saver Network. As we expand and grow, the key is to really share with you kind of what we are as a company, and kind of the wellness aspect of the Wednesday is to we can do a lot of things in terms of these Wellness Wednesday. I do a lot of research. That's basically what I'm involved with. My company, NutriRelief, and I've been in this business now going over 16 years at this point. And we're unique in that we found an alternate way to supplement the body. And in that way that we supplement the body is through the skin, using a really unique proprietary delivery system, which is called liposomal delivery technology, LDT. So the whole point of that is so many people suffer from inflammation of the gut, and everyone is striving to have a better system of digestive to absorb more nutrients. But when you have inflammation of the gut, irritable bowel syndrome, leaky gut syndrome, Crohn's disease, or just general malaise of the inability to digest, which is metabolic syndrome. And we can get in technical about that, but the bottom line is our guts are damaged, and it's damaged from antibiotics first off. I mean, the extent of antibiotic use has really done damage to our microbiome, which is the ability to really have this really healthy stomach system with our bile and acid and hydrochloric acid in the digestive system. I personally suffer from that from an early operation when I was 14 of a bleeding ulcer. And I've had a really difficult time really having an effective digestive system. So basically, metabolic syndrome. I have the inability to really metabolize and get the the value out of my just digestion of food. For example, I can't digest cabbage. I can't digest raw or unreally cooked vegetables. I get inflammation of my gut. I can get obstruction. So I've got a lot of issues, but not like anybody else. I'm like most of people that are striving to get wellness through the gut, food sources. But we eat so much processed food, and our food that comes to us through the United States of manufacturing food is a monoculture that's just not the nutritional value, even from organic food. You really can't necessarily get that. So, hence the supplemental industry, $1 billion industry of everybody taking pills and supplements, multivitamins, and all these different ways that you're trying to supplement for your food source not being what it is. Processed foods being the biggest issue for the American diet. It's really done a lot of destructive things to our children that are coming up and growing. They are raised on processed foods unless you, as parents, have gone through the process of really trying to give them healthy diets. But so supplementation is really changed in terms of the last decade specifically. And what we've really done in terms of what I created when I started off with was trying to find a better way, a better way to supplement. And in the process, I found at that time, it started back in 2009, 2008, was this advent of compound pharmacists that were making transdermal creams. And in this process, they had this base, transdermal base, which, by the way, at that time, it's basically a derivative of petrochemical. It's a petroleum-based product. And they were making formations for women's hormones, hormone replacement therapy, progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone. It's kind of an interesting side story, but what I came out of that with was to see how interesting was it that you could give a transdermal cream to a woman and she could absorb progesterone, she could absorb estrogen, and then also making, you know, testosterone creams for men. And I thought to myself, that was about the extent of it at that time, besides maybe injections or what medical doctors were giving in terms of getting something into your system. But what I saw with transdermal was using the skin as the point of administration for hormone therapy. Why couldn't we do that with vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and all the aspects of nutrition? The key being, what's with this base? What is this transdermal base? And in doing studies of what this transdermal base was, I found that it really was not that clean. It was a petrochemical base, petroleum-based product. It did elevate the ability for passing through the skin as a protective surface and going through the network which protects our bodies. But in further studies, there was new technology being developed called a liposome. And so liposome is the evolution of the word transdermal. So if you think of transdermal, transderm, going through the skin, but the FDA really controls that word. It's a word that really says drug delivery through the skin. So inconsequently from that, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to utilize a word that the FDA believes they own, and they are going to be suspect of that. And with this new science evolving of liposomal, it's a unique way by which you can pass through the skin and deliver bioactives directly. In fact, it's superior to transdermal in that because it's made of lecithin, which is a natural plant derived from sunflowers. This is the particular liposome I've chosen because it's so biologically compatible with our skin. So every skin cell that we lose every day, every blood cell that we have is surrounded by an outer shell of what they call a phospholipid. And phospholipid is the basis of what a liposome is comprised of. It's like a beach ball. Oh, did I have that out the other day? Oh, yeah. So a liposome is essentially a beach ball. It's a microscopic beach ball made of the sunflower lecithin derived from sunflowers. But the beauty is this it's a membrane that essentially allows to blend all of my creams into this liposome. And inside here, you can put bioactives in almost like this, bubble boy process. It is bioactives that are protected in the cream format for bioavailability. They're there, but it's surrounded by this phospholipid. But every one of our skin cells, every one of our blood cells surrounded by a phospholipid also. So if you can imagine, when you have contact with the skin, even just contact, where transdermals basically were using a petroleum-based product to pass through the skin to then through diffusion to be absorbed. This is like you're meeting a skin cell, directly a skin cell, and it is welcoming the skin cell to our product, our bioactives, because it's covered by a phospholipid. It's recognizing our skin LDT, liposomal delivery technology, as a familiar element. The body, we make phospholipids in our body. They're surrounding every skin cell, every blood cell. So you can imagine when you use these liposomal creams, when you apply them to your arms, anywhere on your body, what's ended up happening is this immediate reception of the formulation that we have as a friendly substance, not a foreign substance. So consequently, that's why we don't have any interactions. We don't have a lot of people that are basically having any issues with accepting all of our topical creams as a liposomal delivery technology that is absorbable. It doesn't create inflammation to the skin, no irritability, and it's quickly absorbed. and we can target the nutrition from the amino acid, vitamin, and minerals, which are the basis of cellular building new cells. So that's been my business. I don't get exotic. I do some hormones with melatonin. I do have hormonal creams for women and men. I do formulate for all different type of companies because my business is research, formulation. But really what I've created is a clinical line for practitioners. And it's a line that covers almost all the basics of immunity, sleep, pain, neuropathy, and vitamin and minerals, which are all the building blocks that you really need for optimal health. So that's kind of a little bit of background that I'm talking about what the creams do, why I got involved with this. And in the beginning of my business was really, my background is in chemical process engineering, and I've got a huge background in terms of what I was involved in terms of, chemical processes, project engineering, and all the constructions associated with analyzing and determining what chemicals are appropriate in liquid solid separation. It's a complex background that I have. But back in 2009, I was approached through my church in my fellowship out here in the desert, filled with doctors, lots and lots of doctors of all different practices. But in my church, in my fellowship, filled with doctors. And when I came into do fellowship, my background in marketing and my other business as an entrepreneur, I was approached by all these gentlemen to create a business which would utilize a lifetime of each one of these doctors having ideas for formulations and ideas for health and wellness. On the finality, I had 15 doctors on my board of director, and NutriRelief was born. But I wanted to concentrate on nutraceuticals because a lot of these docs had a lot of wild ideas that didn't have science back. They had a lot of experience, but it was kind of a kitchen sink approach. We'll put every amino acid, we'll put every vitamin in this, we'll make some, which I call a kitchen sink product. And it would have been, $300, $400 just to make one product, but the ineffectiveness of what was the delivery technology. So in that process, I got two of the doctors become part of my board of directors that were based in science, in formulation, also in understanding cancer treatment and autistic children with books. And my board, scientific board, is huge. I have so many doctors on my boards, and I consult with them on all of my formulations, and they actually ask me to create and co-create formulations for them. So the background is extensive. But that's kind of a little bit of the background. What I like to do on these Wellness Wednesdays, and we will do in the future, is I'm constantly researching new studies that are coming out. And there's so much advances right now in medical research, in what's happening with a lot of the diseases, neuropathy, cancer treatments, digestive issues, Ozempic, these kind of deals in terms of weight loss, all of these things that are out there. So I'm kind of your outside guard to explore these and bring to this forum here of Wellness Wednesdays a lot of the things that I've been studying. Typically, I would come and say, "Hey, everybody, I just saw this new study. I want to bring it to all your attention." That's something I'd like to do in future ones. What we've been doing up to this point was kind of going over each cream because we have a complete line at the Fun Saver Network. I mean, literally a clinical line for almost all of your needs. And so that's kind of where I'm kind of coming from with all of you, is to understand what is this line. And as Ron mentioned at the top of the show, is that I specifically work on internet sales. I don't sell on Amazon. I don't sell on eBay. I don't do that because they're kind of retail killers. And I really get approached. I mean, I've been in business now, like I said, almost 16 years. And, there's a lot of barbarians at the gate, people that are trying to have me, patent products and do this. But at this point, they're trade secrets associated with the way I developed it. It's a bit of an art form. I have a wonderful lab, and we've been doing this so long. These creams are really working well. They penetrate the skin. They deliver their payload literally up to 99% of that bioactive that you're looking for, whether it be B12, whether it's glutathione, vitamin C, all of the vitamins and minerals that are in my creams are delivered to you directly through almost any part of your body to deliver a payload of targeted nutrition, which the basis is to grow new cells, new blood cells, new skin cells, and really, really the point of what NutriRelief is as a nutraceutical company is to supplement to your deficiencies. So what's really happening with disease in the marketplace right now with functional doctors, which are a big following that I have using my creams, and naturopaths and wellness doctors, are that really the key to supplementation is low and slow. It's also the key is as you get a blood test annually and you understand what are my deficiencies in blood, whether I'm low in D3, whether I'm low in B12, whether I've got high blood pressure, whether I'm getting close to heart disease, whether I'm about to be pre-diabetic. All of these issues that your medical doctor is telling you to do is based on a blood test. And usually he's reading it, telling you you're deficient here, you're deficient there. The key to wellness is to supplement to your deficiencies. If you're low in D3, if you're low in B12, you want to optimize and get to a level that's a healthy level where the body says, I have the ingredients I need for optimal wellness, and the body will heal itself. Brain, gut, um, uh, pain, infliction, neuropathy, blood flow, high blood pressure. It's just we're lacking these as we get older. After the age of 25, 30, because of our nutrition, our bodies are not making this glutathione, the liver function, the thyroid function, these hormones that are necessary for beautiful function of our bodies are deficient. They're starving. Magnesium, it's needing these ingredients, which are the basic, once again, vitamin, minerals, amino acids, nothing more. There's nothing more that you really need to be concerned with other than diseases that are hereditary diseases. And that's really such an interesting issue. But even then, you want to have a body that has a strong immune system that's able to fight off, ward off a lot of these issues. And DNA function is also part of this too, because the root cause of tumors and cancers, sometimes we wonder, where does it all come from? Thinking about innocent children that come down this, but come down with, say, cancer situations. How is that possible? And this is years and years of DNA passing down through the genes, and they've got deficiencies. So DNA replication, the fact that you've got all the minerals and vitamins and amino acids necessary for mitochondrial function, which is just cellular replication, is what's key to health. What goes wrong is when you don't have the hormones necessary because you haven't given them the nutrition. An example will be D3, we could go dive into, but it's converted into a hormone through absorption into your body, but it's looking for magnesium. And if you're deficient in magnesium, it doesn't convert, little scientific here, to a 25 hydroxyl in this case, which then becomes a hormone that is specifically for DNA function. So what's happening? You just miss out on that. And there is where something happens. When you don't have absolute replication of the cells live, multiply, and then die in a life. We're losing billions of cells every day. But if you get a rogue cell, if you get a cell that didn't really die off and it's really incomplete, it didn't have perfect formation, didn't die correctly, then they become these zombie cells, these free radicals is what they're called. And many processes can increase this. We live in an oxygen atmosphere, and oxidative stress is what happens to all of us. Even exercise, breathing oxygen, it's oxidative, and that's why we're getting old. We're breathing oxygen. If we didn't have reactive oxygen happening to mature us and make us get older, we'd all look like a perfect peach all of our lives. We'd never oxidize. We'd never see a peach as it deteriorates and gets older and then becomes something inedible. That's typical what our bodies are. But if we keep our replication, if we keep the mitochondrial function healthy, if we give our body the nutrition that we need, we find that the body will heal itself. Longevity and wellness is really promoted, and we really have the ability to have much healthier lifestyles. So that's really what the purpose of Wellness Wednesday is try to just kind of make yourself familiar with um, why am I supplementing in the first place? How successful have I been in my supplemental adventure in buying, multivitamins from CVS Pharmacy? What am I paying for? And you're bombarded by all of these vitamin, mineral, supplement pills you're taking orally, and that's the key. What is it that you're absorbing? At NutriRelief, our attitude is you are what you absorb. But if you have metabolic syndrome, if you have inflammation of the gut, if you have Crohn's, if you have irritable bowel, you have leaky gut, you are not, your whole digestive system is not digesting these supplements and passing them through your entire body. Fact is, all the work is put onto your liver. And basically, the liver is really the first portal of digestion. And I really, like I said, if the liver could talk, it would be screaming. It would be really have a lot of interesting things to say to us because it is so bombarded with trying to digest all these processed ingredients that are basically indigestible. So that's just basic kind of an overview. And the key is that NutriRelief tries to avoid the digestive system. Use your skin, any part of your skin, your face, your feet, your arms, any part, doesn't really matter. Previously it was like, non-hairy locations or thin skin locations, but through the years, we've just seen such effect that these liposomal creams are really penetrating through the skin, metabolizing on contact, and they're getting directly into your circulatory system. One of the creams that it's so evident of that is the Trauma Max, because through that, when you target pain, so the Trauma Max is our pain relief. We call it tension relief in this case. And it comprises of 2 amino acids that basically are won a Nobel Prize for vasodilation. They open up the blood flow to all of your vascular system, heart health, reducing blood pressure. But just imagine, so this amino acid, L-arginine-L-citrulline, won a Nobel Prize because it showed through opening the blood vessels, it created, in the process of absorbing these 2 amino acids, it created a byproduct called nitric oxide. And this nitric oxide is essential for vascular health. Nitric oxide is the thing that keeps all of your blood vessels pliable and soft, and all of those valves opening and closing and distributing blood flow from your heart throughout your body. When you have neuropathy, when you have diabetic neuropathy, or you feel coldness in your feet and tingling in your feet, or lousy circulation in your legs, it's because you lack nitric oxide generated from either pre-diabetic condition, or in case of diabetes all the way, you've got a problem with a vascular flow, with the inability for the blood to get all the way from your heart, where it's regenerated and oxygenated through the lungs, fresh blood going down to the bottom of your feet and returning back to your heart to refresh. So in the case of Trauma Max, I'm kind of getting to the point here of their Trauma Max opens up your vascular system, increases blood flow, can reduce blood pressure by increased blood flow, healthy, but it generates nitric oxide, which increases the nitric oxide and basically creates something called endothelial health, which is a sheath that's inside each blood vessel that keeps the pliability. The key to heart disease is what we call hardening of the arteries. Hardening of the arteries means our arteries that are connected to our heart no longer are flexible. They're hardening. They're getting closed like a sewer system. More and more restriction, less and less blood flow going through, and hardening of the arteries. And that's really one of the main problems. And it's calcification of the arteries. By taking L-arginine-L-citrulline, you're increasing the flexibility and not allowing plaque to settle and calcify in your arteries and closer to your heart. So in the Trauma Max cream, which is for pain, we include, besides the L-arginine-L-citrulline as a vasodilator, so blood flow all over, we include arnica and boswellia, our natural pain relievers. These are things that are common. You've probably heard of arnica and boswellia. Very, very effective pain relief, natural pain relievers. So in this process of extra blood flow, you now have two really natural pain relievers. So the example I'm trying to use by going back to my lead was when you notice, if you haven't used the Trauma Max, but I hope there's some testimony, and I know many people that have used it, when you have arthritic pain, shoulder pain, sports injuries of any kind, pain, inflammation in any area, apply the NutriFlow to that location, and within minutes, there's relief. So that cream alone really sends the message to all of Fun Saver Network to understand this is the function of these creams. It can get to a targeted location. You don't have to take an aspirin, ibuprofen, NSAID, and wait 20 minutes for it to circulate through your body. You can directly target nutrition, is what I call it, or pain relief, or blood flow relief, or ligament relief, or arthritic condition relief through our topical creams, passing through the skin, metabolizing in that exact location, or as they work on a specific location to relieve pain, they continue to work throughout the body in terms of offering anti-inflammatory properties and micronutrients also throughout your body, which you're utilizing for health and wellness, building new cellular function. So what we have with Fun Saver Network offering NutriRelief is a complete line. And this Wellness Wednesday is all about which cream are efficient for what I'm suffering from. Or my doctors told me I need to elevate, my D3, or I need to work on my neuropathy, or I need a solution for arthritic condition. And what we try to do is stay away from, or let's put it this way, 50% of my business is folks that have been taking a statin or taking blood pressure medication or any medication that really has compromised their mobility, or they're just saying, I'm done. If I can, what's the alternative for health if I can try to get outside of opioids or pain relief medications? And it's pretty much a lot of my business folks that are looking for an alternative to pain relief, neuropathy, blood pressure. And that's really it in a nutshell, using the entire line. And that's kind of what I like to do. I like to have these Wellness Wednesdays and talk to folks, answer questions about what cream might be more effective for that. And if I can answer the question, like I say, typically, let me just get back to you. It's because I have an incredible scientific board. Doctors of all different practices, environmental doctors and toxic doctors that work in mold, gynecologists, general practitioners, my family. I've got a number of PhD doctors in my family. So a wealth of information with trying to get to the bottom of something that perhaps could be beneficial in terms of wellness. And that's what we're really trying to achieve with Wellness Wednesday. And that's pretty much my story.
I'll tell you what, Daniel, let me say something to you, but I'm going to say this, but while I do this, any of you that's in this tonight that are using any of the creams, or you've ordered the cream and you don't have it yet, drop a 1 in the comments. Drop a 1 in the comments so we can see how many of you are actually doing this. But I'm going to start this conversation, and I do have testimonials about the Trauma Max. I do. They're on here tonight. And you've heard my own. My own is continuing to grow. But I have to tell you, when I first received the Trauma Max and I put 2 little squirts in my hand and I started to put it on my shoulder, Immediately, I thought it wouldn't work, and I'm going to tell you why I thought that. Because it didn't smell like menthol. It didn't smell like menthol. And every pain cream I've ever had in my life, when I put it on, or it smelled like menthol, right? And it didn't smell like menthol. But I was amazed that it worked. Look at all the ones in the comments. Daniel, I'm going to tell you something. You probably already know this. Your product is so amazing and it's so good that I could literally start a business with just that. With just that. I could literally start a direct sales company with just that. And we're so fortunate and humbled to have you guys on board. And I can't thank Mr. Ireland enough because he made that happen. Right. So here's what we're going to do. I've got some people here queued up and I know that they're on the product. I know it for sure. So I want to go to the first person out in Michigan, my buddy I've known for a while, Miss D. Bargy. I know she's on the product, and if you would just come on and take about 1 minute and just tell us what your results are of taking the product or using the product. I say taking, but using the product.
Sure, I'd love to share. So I had some issues with my leg, and it really had been going on for a couple of years. And as soon as I started using the Trauma Max, I would rub it like right on the back of my thigh, just above my knee. And I tell you what, it is a miracle. It's an absolute miracle. And I was just sharing with the girls today that I noticed that even if I don't put it on like every single day, it seems to carry over. Like I don't, all of a sudden, maybe a week or so goes by and then I'll start feeling a little, little bit of pain again, but then I use it and it's gone right away. So I absolutely love it.
That's fantastic. And now I'm going to go out to Oklahoma. My newfound friend, way out in Oklahoma. What a guy. Constantly just building. Philip, can you hear me? Philip Woods, can you hear me? You can unmute, Philip. I'll ask you to unmute. Go ahead. Yeah, I made you a co-host. Okay. So we'll go right here in my city. We'll go to my city. Bobby Lockhart, can you hear me? I'm wondering if you can
hear you, Ron. I'm here.
Okay, you can unmute. Okay, Bobby. Now this one might take just a second because she's got a story about this Trauma Max. And it's funny how it started. It started with me, and it started me talking about how it's helping my shoulder from bowling, and everybody wanted to try it. That's exactly how it happened. So, Bobby, tell them your story about Trauma Max.
Well, I turned 63 in November, and a couple of days later, my left knee started bothering me. I used to run. I was a runner, and I tried ibuprofen. I was taking that like every 4 hours, 4 of them, and it wouldn't go away. I couldn't get up and down the stairs. I had to crawl down on my biscuit. For those of you, that's my bottom. And I couldn't walk. It would give out on me if I sat very long. And I heard Ron talking about the Trauma Max and all these Zoom calls. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess I can try it. So I did. And I'm telling you, within, like you said, a minute or two, it was gone. And I am now actually running through the house with my grandchild. He's 2 years old. I can carry him up and down the stairs. And I am like a new person. I'm just like amazed that I can bend down in the grocery store and pick up items and I don't think I can get back up. It's amazing. So you have changed my life, and I am sharing it with everyone. And people are ordering this stuff because they know that I'm going to tell you the truth, but it works. I'm telling you, I'm just amazed at how great this product is. So thank you, Daniel.
Fantastic. And Gigi, I wanted to bring up Philip, and I guess he's doing something. I don't know or can unmute. But I wanted to bring him up because he bought the Trauma Max for one reason, for his neuropathy. And it has helped him tremendously with his neuropathy. It truly, truly has. He talks about it all the time.
Can I make one comment about Dee, what she said, and Bobby? You know, do you mind if I share just real quick? I'll make it quick.
Yeah, yeah.
This is kind of the interesting thing about it because you use the product, but it is a continuation of D. What it is as an anti-inflammatory, whenever you have a wound, and that's why we call it Trauma Max, and you have inflammation, and in a situation with any chronic pain that you have, chronic is the key word. It just keeps coming back, keeps coming back. And what we're trying to do is work on a healing process here. The L-arginine L-citrulline, the vasodilation, is doing the work constantly. And the key ends up being is like, for example, with Ron, if he were to just stop bowling, he might gain some weight, his whole world could change, but he does chronic movements over and over again. He's constantly working muscles. But the key is he's got now a tool by which he can increase his bowling score and win championships and build ligaments. But when we have these activities that are chronic, the pain will continue. And you want to utilize a cream that basically is an anti-inflammatory, but at the same time, it continues to work. So in the case of D, which is interesting, is she's utilized this, she's getting nitric oxide into these areas, expanding the blood flow there. And once she's got this expansion, softening and anti-inflammatory aspects of blood flow coming in and clearing inflammation, you're healing, D. That's the key to the situation. You're healing an area that had chronic inflammation with new blood flow, and then your body is basically rewarding you by saying, well done, and continue with this, but not necessarily it's a habitual situation. It healed, it helped, and now you're free to kind of go about until you do something which, once again, is creating an inflammatory response. Could be holding your child. It could be, bending in a certain way or overdoing it with exercise. But that's how we build muscle. And as we get older, that's one of the biggest issues. We got to continue to have strength building and build muscle. This isn't the other issue of this whole Ozempic fad that's going on right now. It's great for weight loss, but it quickly deteriorates muscle mass. And to build muscle, as athletes do, you're breaking down muscle to build muscle. So you're going to have inflammation. The key, though, is something that can clear out the inflammation, increase blood flow, grow new tissue, blood cells, and really heal. You're healing yourself by giving what your body needs for an anti-inflammatory response.
Exactly correct. I'm telling you, I learned a long time ago that thing by Socrates that says, let thy food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. It's not pills. It's none of that. I got two more I want to bring up real quick. Roy, can you hear me, Roy?
I can. Thank you.
Okay, Roy, tell us your thing about I guess it's Trauma Max.
It is
all about Trauma Max.
It is. Daniel, I want to thank you. And before I tell you how well it's worked for me, I'm listening to what you're saying today. And a dear, dear friend of mine who moved here is having some digestive problems. And you bet she's going to get this recording tomorrow when it's up, because I want her to hear just what you're saying. Thank you. How timely, how perfectly timely. The Trauma Max, I've been a racquetball addict for over 20 years, and then I've switched to pickleball. So my knees have taken, and I'm somewhere between Bobby's age and Clyde George's age in that realm. So as a hippie baby boomer, I want to stay active. I love staying active. The right knee on occasion and the right calf. Occasionally, after a pickleball game especially, will start to hurt. Just had a game this evening, had a wonderful time out there, came home, showered, and Trauma Max. It's like, it's a routine now. It's a routine. And I can't thank you enough, because it's keeping me young. It's keeping me out there hitting that ball around. And I'm not like Bobby taking ibuprofen by the handful. So you got me off of that too, because there is an alternative. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you so much for that. That's great testimonial, Roy.
And one more. Mr. Bob Bearden, can you unmute for me, sir?
Yes, sir, I
Bob,
can.
I want to say something to you in front of all these people. I can't thank you enough for taking your time and introducing Daniel and Kesia to Fun Saver Network.
That's
And the reason I want to say that because I want you to take notice right now, because of that introduction, how many people you're helping. They're on here talking about it.
Amazing, man. You know, I knew when we were trying to do what we were trying to do in 2020, when I first got introduced to Daniel and Kesia, that, you know, the product was the bomb. And like, you know, you're hearing all these Trauma Max stories, which Trauma Max has helped me, my wife, you know, tension in her neck and all that. But here's the one thing you got to know. You're like, wow, if that Trauma Max works like that, I wonder if the rest of it works like that. The answer is yes. Like all the rest of it works the same way. It's amazing. And I tell you, my mindset right now with Fun Saver, and Ron and I have been talking, is sort of actually balanced out, right? We're talking a lot about the drops and the fun finds, and that's all going to get better. Like social selling, that's all going to get better. But let me tell you something. We literally have the best products with Nutrilelief in the network marketing industry without being a network marketing company, basically, right? Without having all that. And it's like a marriage. It's like a perfect fit. Like you could promote the whole Fun Saver opportunity literally as a Nutrilelief network marketing opportunity. And well, how do I get it? It's $25 a month membership. Buy when you want. Like it is so perfect. And people just haven't quite caught it. Many of you have started to catch on to that now because you're using the product.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, it
Yep.
does work. So first of all, thank you to Daniel and Kesia for being so open when I called them back. And, you know, I knew it would be a perfect fit for what, you know, Shane was putting together. And I'm just excited to see so many people using this product and having such incredible results without me having to convince anymore. You know, Daniel's like, just try it, just try it. And the more people try it, the more they realize, wow, this isn't hype. And the price points, I mean, come on, man. It's perfect, man. Yeah, so thank
And
you,
then
Daniel.
the
Appreciate
thing
you,
that
man.
the
Great,
icing
great
on the
Zoom
cake,
tonight.
the icing on the cake is this. For everybody, please hear me when I tell you this. This is the icing on the cake. Nobody has it but us.
Right.
Nobody
Not even
has it but us.
eBay or Amazon.
No, no.
That's the best part.
So there you go. But thank you, Bob. Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you,
Daniel,
welcome,
Bob.
man.
Thank you
I
for that,
can't
Bob.
wait till we meet again because there's something I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about your glutathione. I want to talk about glutathione. And the reason I want to talk about it because I have it and I've been using it and I want to know more because I'm going to continue to use it because I understand we don't produce glutathione hardly at 63 years old.
Yeah.
And I know glutathione is something you better have in your life for that mighty mitochondria.
Right. Can I say something about that real
Yeah,
quick?
Clyde. Yeah.
Let me tell you what I did this morning. I got up this morning and I put the glutathione on. And I was in here reading about it because I'm always reading about these products where glutathione says it helps with your workout. I took my other stuff that I take and I went to the gym. Ron, I was lifting stuff today much easier and I almost went up on my weights. That was amazing.
Amazing.
And how old are
Um,
you, Clyde? How old are you,
I'm
Clyde?
I'm 76.
Amen.
Dude, you're making me feel terrible not getting up to go to the gym.
I've been going to the gym since November the 6th of 2023, 3 days a week.
Yep.
And I love it, man.
Well, Daniel, you're starting, you're causing all this stuff. I just want you to know that. So be happy because it's about to get even bigger.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah.
Clyde, you're really an example of health in action. It's just so important as we get older, keep that strength building going forward. You know, all of that activity that you're having with increased blood flow through exercise, building muscle is for longevity. It's for brain function. I mean, this is the story of getting older. As we get older, we get sedentary. And the key is you're getting sedentary because you're getting sidelined with pain. And the key is that when you're active, but you have a alternative to the inflammation, which basically you can heal, because you know when you go work out, Clyde, you want to give yourself some rest to recuperate because you're destroying muscle to build muscle, but you're active and you're continuing to reduce the inflammation and you're getting stronger. So as we get older, your health is keeping pace with that, and it creates you a much more cognition, active guy. And that's the key to getting old. It's about cognition, it's keeping our brain function, it's keeping our blood flow active, and we're not having deterioration of even the brain function from all of the uses of these, because you're giving your body what it needs in simple form. I mean, it's not that complicated with all the different levels of things. I mean, I have like 42 different formulations, and my basic line, it is a clinical line that you have entirely now, is basically 12 creams. It covers just about everything. And that's why it can get complicated. And I've done very sophisticated hormone replacement therapy. I've got all kinds of formulations for other companies that I've done, but I have this basic line that is very good for just basic longevity, blood pressure, brain function, pain, neuropathy, heart health. And those are the things I like to talk about, because this is where we're at here at the Fun Saver Network. We've got people that are maturing, and we want to just have good health, good cognition, and a way by which the body wants to heal. It really wants to heal itself. You can repair that liver. You can help yourself get stronger by just giving what the body needs. So those blood tests, those annual blood tests, make sure you get a full battery of tests. You look at them, you understand with your doctor the basic question: Doc, where am I deficient? What am I lacking in my blood test? Tell me, and then come back and let's find out what you're deficient in. Supplement gently to that and let the body heal itself is really my axiom of health.
And you just said something
and
that I caught when you said it. You're getting sedentary because of the pain you're getting. You don't want to move around anymore.
right.
That's what's causing it.
You know what I love, Daniel, is that because this is a cream, it's not a pill, it's not a potion, it's none of that. You just said, almost like inch your way into the recovery of what you're lacking. So somebody could put a little pea size, they can move it up to a dime size, I mean, that's what's amazing. And that's what I love about, if your kids are a little bit deficient in something, you don't got to worry about giving them the product. That's the beauty of the cream itself. I love it.
Yeah, as a clinical line, that's what the clinicians and naturopathic and functional doctors love. They use the word titrate. So you can titrate down, you can titrate up. I mean, just a little bit. For example, the melatonin. If you have sleep issues, some may say, tried melatonin previously. But melatonin as a molecule does so much. Let's another time dive deep again into it. But you're trying to regulate a sleep cycle. Some people will say, oh my God, one pump, it's so strong. Another person will say, I tried 3 pumps, didn't get there. Then they titrated up. They took 4 pumps, and it's like, wow, it was the perfect location for them to get that deep sleep, the insomnia, the issues, and sleep is really one of my main focuses. And we have 3, protocols for sleep. Magnesium could be a deficiency, not sleeping, or also GABA L-theanine for that active mind that keeps you from sleeping. A whole sleep conversation. But Bob, absolutely right. The titration is beautiful for a child who has ADHD and hyperactive. The GABA L-theanine in the morning, just a pea shot on there, just rub their wrist as they go to school, and the teacher will call you back. I have so much testimonies of teachers saying, I don't know what happened to Billy, but he's focused now. He's not turning the class upside down. He's focused and concentrated, talking to the parents, what did you do? And it was just something as simple as giving him a little calming him down from his hyperactivity or his attention deficit. All of these different functions that are just from a deficiency of something. And that's really what is intriguing. So thank you for that, Bob. Thank you.
Love it. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. And I know
Well,
that
guys,
Keisha put together some new marketing stuff too, huh, Bron? They're going to be in the
yeah,
back
she
office
did.
soon. She's
Yeah.
amazing with marketing, by the way, man. She really, really is.
Yeah, she did put it together, and I'm excited to start putting it out there. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. But Daniel, listen, I can never thank you enough for spending your hour with us every 2 weeks, because you're a plethora of information. You truly are.
You just
And
taught me some new words.
and just because of that, I mean, I look forward to this every 2 weeks. But I'm going to put a request in.
Yes.
Next week, can we talk about the glutathione?
Sure.
I mean, 2 weeks from now or next week, or
Sure.
whatever, I don't know, 2 weeks from now.
Sure.
I'd
Sure.
love
And
to talk about that glutathione. I really would.
yeah, and this is typically, which is really great, as a topic that you can kind of promote, because there's so many, it's one thing to listen to me and my experience with glutathione, but why did I formulate it? Why did I put those unique ingredients in? That's a big part of the formulating process. These cofactors, these things that make it essential in the glutathione, addition of N-acetylcysteine, NAC, people don't understand what that's about. Why are the other ingredients? They're functional. These creams are not just willy-nilly. I put them together by doctors' influence and saying, Daniel, if you're going to do this, you're going to want that, and specifically for these reasons. And they have medical rationale by which they're functional for that reason. So let's talk about glutathione. Also, studies, new studies just out. Hey, guess what? Glutathione has been shown, proven in clinical human studies that it's doing. I'll bring that to your attention. Here's a study you can read. Not just, hey, take my word for it, take my advisory board. Here's a study, put it in the notes, and we can go to the conclusions of what this new study has created. Same story with the D3. All of my creams have substantial studies behind them, but what I like in these Wellness Wednesdays is bring you, the truth of clinical human studies that have done the work to say, try this for this reason, whether it's blood pressure, whether it's liver disease, whether it's chronic, any condition that's chronic. I want to bring that as new studies for information. So it's really intriguing. And it helps people understand, why am that's the other aspect. In closing, why am I taking this cream? It's really important that when you see the product quiches that come with the product, they tell you, why am I taking this cream? What does this cream do? But the biggest event, which is different from just popping a pill, is when you're applying a cream to your body and you're rubbing it in. It's really something Kesia calls it, it's the healing hands. It's your own effort to take responsibility to say, I'm doing this for the function that I want in my body, reduce inflammation, to reduce chronic pain, for a blood flow, or for blood pressure. You're helping your body really on the journey to wellness. And it's a big part of it. You're taking responsibility rather than, I'm taking something and hoping maybe it works. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I feel any different? These creams are functional. They're doing something very specific. So thank you for the opportunity to talk about it,
Yeah,
Ron, Bob.
absolutely, Daniel. Absolutely. Listen, we've been an hour. I never like to stay longer than an hour. I don't like to get you away from family time for more than an hour. But I appreciate all of you being here. And I just want to remind you, while we're here, tomorrow night, Bob Bearden will be doing the presentation, our opportunity presentation for Fun Saver Network. And I need everybody to be aware that come Monday, there's going to be a new group that we can go into that's going to help you build your business. And we're going to be putting NutriRelief all in it. So you can invite your people to go in there and learn about NutriRelief. And Daniel, we might be talking soon about doing this every week, is what it sounds like to me by what I see in the comments. But
Yeah.
I love that we set something up on what we're going to talk about next time, because your marketing materials are so beautiful and so perfect that we could all be on the internet using your marketing materials to come learn about the glutathione that you've never ever seen before, the way this works. And we can bring more people to the webinars, and we can build and you can build, and it's good for everybody.
The last thing I'll just really interject, I'm really curious to see people bringing, I want this to be a forum, if it can be, for people to recruit people, to say, come on to a Wellness Wednesday. You come on, I mean, just listen. I mean, I'd like to see, people, I just, invite, come, listen, because this substantiates the whole Fund Saver Network by getting this information. That's all I would hope.
Absolutely, absolutely. And bring a guest tomorrow night. We'll have a bunch of fun.
Yeah, let's do that. All right. Hey, God bless everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Bob. Thanks for all the testimonials. Have a safe night, everybody. God bless.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys. Thanks, Danny.
Good night, everyone.
Okay.